So, what we are going to see is Steve Dix. He is the one and only sci-fi comedian, and he's performing his show since about 10 years now. And now he's here with his Han Solo comedy show. Applause for Steve Dix.
Good evening. I didn't hear that. Let's have some more. Thank you. Nice to be here. Nice to see you all at FedCon. So, you're the people who couldn't get in to see Jerry Ryan, yeah? Yeah, I was backstage just now and I just put on my Facebook, I said, bad news, I'm in competition with Jerry Ryan. Good news, I'm backstage with Jerry Ryan. No, because they said to me, unfortunately you're going to be up against Jerry Ryan. And I thought, that's nice. There seems to be a bit of a communication problem there, but never mind. As said, I am a science fiction comedian. I am the only science fiction comedian in Germany. There are others in America, unfortunately. But, and I haven't been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing comedy for 10 years in English to Germans. Yeah, it's a bit like trying to sell bacon sandwiches on the Gaza Strip, to be honest. But another thing is, another problem is it's either that or the German Facial Paralysis Society are actually block booking the front rows of my gigs. And they're all sitting there sort of, oh, das war der lustigste, den ich je gehört. Aber ich kann nicht lachen. Also, ich klatsche. Yeah, because that really freaks me out about German audiences. You clap. You don't laugh, you clap. And another thing is that German audiences don't heckle. You know, in England and America, they're all sort of shouting, yeah, oh, you're rubbish, get off. In Germany, you heckle, but you don't heckle the same way. You wait until the end of the show, and you come up with a clipboard. Also, the first joke was good, but it was not logical. Well, thank you, Mr. Spock. Live long and prosper. And at least I'm a better comedian than Data, if you remember that episode. So, I mean, let's see who we've got here. Star Wars fans? Yes, may the Force be with you. I have to ask you a small question. Is it just me? Or when you sort of go towards an automatic door, do you do a little force wave? Yes, yes, a few laughs of recognition. And I'm going to have to say, those of you who have brought lightsabers, could you please turn them off, because in a minute you're going to be laughing so hard you might cut something off. That was a problem at the last convention, unfortunately. Yeah, and I remember my first convention. I came in and I did my first Star Wars routine. And I'd never seen so many Princess Leias in my life. Then I went to the Baccarat and they were all out of Kaiserschnecker. Think about it. Yeah. So we've got the Star Wars people. Yeah, so Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yes! Hey!
Live long and prosper. Come on, do it, all of you. You're not a proper fan if you can't do that. And Doctor Who fans.
Hey!
Great. Allons-y. Reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. You're a real fan when you know what that means. Actually, I'd like to try something. You know, in the big hall, they've been doing all this Doctor Who fans. This half, I want you to sing the bass line. Yeah. Bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum. Come on, let's hear you. Come on. All together. Come on. Oh, I'm shy. Bum 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 ba 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 bum bum. Oh, come on. You can't do it when you're laughing. Yeah, is that it? Right, Stargate fans. I've got nothing for you, sorry. I haven't watched Stargate in ages. But are there any fans of Alien?
Yes.
Not Alien fans, you know, just fans who are Alien, but fans of Alien. Don't worry, I'm not going to mention the P word tonight. Prometheus. Yeah, because I find Prometheus the funniest of all the Alien films. It works as a comedy. It really does. Honestly, what was Ridley Scott thinking? He goes on, he made a speech where he said, all the Alien sequels have disrespected my vision. And then he goes and makes Prometheus. I'm sorry, Ridley, what were you thinking? Yeah. Have any of the people in Prometheus seen a horror movie? No, I think a couple of the people who were making the film have definitely not seen a horror movie. Otherwise, how do you explain the movie? For example, you can imagine this conversation taking place. So, Ridley, how are we going to top the chest burster in the first film? Dead simple. We find a huge fossilized alien head. We take it back. We stick an electric toothbrush in its ear. And it explodes! Because science! Brilliant, here's 500 million quid, go and film that. Honestly, I mean, they could have really sort of done with going through the script and removing some of the utter base stupidity, unless that was the point he was trying to make. Because you've got this Scottish geologist who's got this state-of-art mapping system, and he gets lost. Then you've got his mate, the biologist with the Wallace and Gromit teeth, who is shit scared of a load of 10,000-year-old corpses. But the moment he's confronted with real danger in this form of this horrible, grey, suspicious-looking snake, he wants to hug it and kiss it and make it his very own and call it George. Oh, and how many women do you know who can do 3 laps of an entire spaceship minutes after a cesarean section? Yeah. So, yeah. I do comedy in English and I do it in German as well. Lots of people ask me why I don't do more comedy in German, and the truth is, German is a difficult language for comedy. It has its own attributes, which make it funnier. For example, ich gebe das Geschenk der Frau. Der Frau. So if I give a present to a woman in Germany, she turns into a man. That explains why Valentine's Day isn't really popular here, is it? It explains why there's a lot of flower shops in Cologne as well. But I was told by my German teacher, the moment you start to dream in German, that's when you've finally picked up the language. What she didn't tell me was, the moment you start to talk in your sleep, in German, your partner will wake you up to correct you. Well, I can do comedy in German. I have done comedy in German. Some of you might have seen my Auftritt at Nightwash. I'm too old for Nightwash now. Apparently, to do German comedy, you've got not to have started shaving or something. Yeah. That one died. Yeah, that one doesn't work. I am, as I said, Germany's only science fiction comedian until somebody rips me off. He knows what I'm talking about. I'm the only science fiction comedian in Germany, and I can't think of what I was going to say next. Yeah, it's a good time to be a science fiction comedian because you've got the next Star Wars movie coming out. It's also a very bad time to be a science fiction comedian in Germany because the next Star Trek movie is coming out. Now, I don't know about you, I keep wondering which classic episode they're going to mandel in the next film. Because, I mean, my personal favourite is I want them to redo The Ultimate Computer. Yeah, with the M5 and Richard Daystrom. And I want Richard Daystrom to be played by Moss of the IT crowd. Fascinating captain. Yes, not as fascinating as your mum's glasses. And of course the M5 is going to be a little black box with a flashing LED on the top. And they're going to finally disconnect it by getting it to Google. New teeth breaking for a friend. He only laughs when I make mistakes, because he knows it. But yeah, you can imagine it, can't you? Scotty, the M5 is going to destroy us. Oh. Well, Captain, have you not tried turning it off and on again? So, I mentioned the new Star Wars movie. You've all seen the trailer. Yeah. Wasn't it brilliant? Chewie, we're home. And Han looks all old and grizzled and frappy. Chewie hasn't changed a day. What happens to a Wookiee when he gets old? Does his hair start falling? Does he mold? Or does he go grey around the muzzle? I reckon he's using Grecian 2000. So, what do you think of the outfit, by the way? Yeah? It says, I've gone over to the dark side, but hey, I'm cool with it. Yeah? Because comedians, we call it going over to the dark side when comedians start wearing black and telling nasty jokes. Is the dark side stronger?
Mm-hmm. Quicker, more seductive, easier laughs, goth groupies.
That's the bit that they don't show in Star Wars, which is the sort of bit between him becoming Darth Vader and Star Wars. All the dysfunctional relationships he has with goth girlfriends. Darth Vader. Yes, you can imagine that. Oh, he's so evil, but I can change him.
So, Lord Vader, you're late. Why?
Tracy tried to stab me with a spoon.
Yes, well, that one didn't go there. That goes out, right. A little bit about myself. I come from a little place in England called Rugeley, which you probably never have heard of. But it's quite important to the Star Wars films. First of all, Luke's Landspeeder was based on a Reliant Robin chassis, and that was made next door in Tamworth. Secondly, in Victorian times there was a very famous doctor. This isn't much to do with Star Wars, it's just one of the reasons my place is famous. There was a very famous doctor called Palmer the Poisoner who used to insure his patients and then poison them for the insurance. Seriously, this really does exist. You can check on Wikipedia. But yeah, if you've ever been to Rugeley, he's got a point. Then thirdly, no less a person than J.R.R. Tolkien used to live nearby in Little Haywood, because during World War I, he did his basic training. This isn't funny, this is just education, okay? He did his basic training at an army camp on the forest next to Rugeley. And when he came home from the war, he got trench fever. He convalesced and his wife bought a little cottage in Great Haywood. Now, if you've ever seen anybody from Great Haywood, they're a bunch of thieving little sots who run around barefoot, midgets, smoking anything they can get. So you can't say that it didn't have an effect on them. And finally, the biggest claim to fame of Rugeley in the Star Wars trilogy is, if you look at Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, that bit there, the pommel, is a tap, which was made by Armitage Shanks, which is one of the biggest employers in Rugeley. You can't get them anymore. They go for about 400 or 500 on eBay. So as I said, that was just education. Nothing funny there. But okay, back to the laughs. I've been a comedian for 10 years. Now the problem with being a comedian is that you can no longer take anything seriously, because you're always looking at the funny side. For example, ever since I saw Brokeback Mountain, I cannot keep a straight face during Marlboro ads. Can't bear the flavours. And another thing that worries me deeply, and I lie awake thinking about it at night, Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. Isn't that a bit of an unnatural pairing or what? If they had kids, ja, if they had kids, yeah, then had Kermit richtig Schwein gehabt. If they have kids, would they be frigs or pogs? Would they taste of chicken or pork? And suddenly it came to me, the green skin, the ears, the obsession with martial arts. Kermit and Miss Piggy's illegitimate son is Yoda from Star Wars. Yeah, you know it, yeah? You hear it in the voice.
Yes, the force is strong in this frog.
So, the other day I was watching a movie about an adopted farm boy who is indoctrinated into a terrorist organisation by a strange old man who claims to have magic powers. It's called Star Wars. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that we are getting the full story about Han Solo and Chewbacca. Yet two men who live on a spaceship together, which seems to be extraordinarily clean. I mean, come on, two bachelors in a flat together. Where's all the beer cans, the pizza cartons, the Playboy posters? Han Solo walks around in tight pants all the time, boots, and Chewbacca walks around naked. And he never brushes himself, does he? Because, come on, when I was a kid, we had an Afghan hand, you know, with the long hair. The hair's got everywhere, everywhere. There's not one single hair on the Millennium Falcon. I know what you're thinking. R2-D2 does the stab sound with his middle foot. But even if they're not gay, what's it like having to share a bathroom with a Wookiee? Hey, Chewie, your friend is still there? What do you mean, bad hair day? If you run out of grease in 2000 again, don't use my razor. Oh, while you're at it, pull the hair out of the shower drain. I thought you drowned an Ewok in there. And what about C-3PO and R2-D2? There is something funny going on there. Because otherwise, why does C-3PO walk around like this? Yeah, we're back on R2's middle leg again, aren't we? Another thing, Princess Leia. Princess Leia is the only woman aboard the Death Star. And the only reason that she is there is because she's been captured, imprisoned, and is being tortured by a man who wears black leather, a cape, and a mask. And he turns out to be her father. She's funny because he doesn't sound Austrian. Oh yeah, that's a nasty one. You'll be telling it all tomorrow. Another thing is the Death Star would never pass German health and safety regulations. Honestly, it must be a really evil empire. They've got all these big trenches with walkways over them, no safety handrail. And what about the stormtroopers? The stormtroopers. If I was going to clone an army of super soldiers, I would make damn sure that I cloned them off somebody who could shoot straight and couldn't be beaten up by a bunch of teddy bears. You're just trying to freak me out by clapping, aren't you? Thanks for that. You can imagine, can't you? Can you imagine being in the call centre for the company that makes the stormtroopers? Hello, Camino Custom Cloning, can I help you? You have a set of stormtroopers and they can't shoot straight. Yes, can I have your name, please, customer? Dave Arthur? Darth Vader. Yeah, thank you, right. I'll just look you up on the computer. I can see your problem, Dave. You bought the economy model. Yeah, that's basically designed for marching in time and standing to attention while the Emperor's shuttle lands. But it can't hit the side of a barn door from 3 paces. And they're allergic to Ewok fur. Yeah, what I can do for you, Dave, what I can do is I've got a 2-for-1 deal. That means 2 of your economy model for a combat model. You don't have them anymore. Can I ask why? You left them on a planet-sized battle station, which exploded. Yeah, that's a common complaint from our customers. Did you have them insured? No, sorry, before the insurance. You've still got the receipt, have you? You left it on the battle station. Yeah, how about insurance? You didn't insure them. Well, Dave, I must say that it would have been prudent to insure them. I know you're an evil empire. Was that you say you didn't want to deal with an empire more evil than yourself? Well, I can understand that, Dave, but, we can't help you. Yes, I'm sure the force is with you. But the insurance isn't. So you're all excited about the new Star Wars movie? Yeah? Yeah. Oh, come on, let's have some excitement. Are you excited about the new Star Wars movie? Yeah? I'm not so sure. I remember 15 years ago. We all got in the cinema, the curtains opened, off went the crawl, and the Jedi started fighting. They landed on the planet, and who did they meet? Jar Jar Binks. A creature so stupid he forgot that he's got a death sentence. Why couldn't they have just killed him when he got to the city? That would have been great. But I reckon Jar Jar is responsible for more Jedi turning to the dark side than the Emperor. You can imagine it, can't you? I am a Jedi. I worship the light side. I will never turn to the dark side. Hello, Annie! Leave the gun! What you doing? Kill! I don't know about you, but I'm worried about J.J. Abrams because J.J. could stand for Jar Jar. I know why they wanted Jar Jar in the last set of films, because they wanted someone that you'd love to hate, like Wesley Crusher. But, oh yeah, Jar Jar. Terrible. Of course, you know the real reason that Anakin converted to the dark side. The real reason is given in the second movie. He comes back from trying to rescue his mum. And he goes, oh my God, the Sand People have murdered my mother. And Padme says, gee, that makes you a little orphan, Annie. What? Nothing. Don't worry about it. The sun will come out tomorrow. You're making fun of me. No. Bet you're a bottom dollar. So we've only got one person in the audience who understands that joke. She knows musicals. That one's dead. Yes. Of course, you have read the plot of the new movie. Yeah, it's actually online. It's all about this sinister organization who takes over Luke Skywalker to use him for their evil, sinister purposes. Oh, hang on, no, that was the Disney shareholder report. Forget that. Yeah. Have you noticed that JJ does the Star Trek movie, and he deletes 40 years of back story? JJ takes over the new Star Wars movie, the entire extended, the entire extended universe gets thrown out. I don't think JJ's too keen on doing the reading. Okay, that one's out. Right, seriously though, aren't you disappointed that we're now in the future and it hasn't turned out like Star Trek? You know, what were we promised? Teleportation, faster than light drive. What did we get? Genetically engineered grain, and not a tribble in sight. I think we shouldn't waste our time on this genetically engineered rubbish. We should have started day one with genetically engineered super soldiers who ride on dinosaurs which have lasers on the sides of their heads. None of this moaning about GM crap. Yeah, who's gonna fight us? When we've got genetically engineered soldiers who ride on dinosaurs with lasers on the side of their heads. I'm not talking about these crappy little transformer pew 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 lasers. I'm talking about big X Death Star turbo lasers. The sort that give Princess Leia nightmares. Yeah? I'm not talking about pew, little grease pot. I'm talking about zap! Where's Cologne gone? Yeah? Because no one would screw with us if we had genetically engineered super soldiers who ride on dinosaurs that have got lasers on the side of their heads. ISIS, they could be in there planning bunker and they'll be sort of leafing through the planet. Right, we'll have a go at this bunch. Oh, no. We don't want to do them because they've got genetically engineered super soldiers who ride on dinosaurs which have lasers at the side of their head. Bad idea. And because the toy rights would be worth a fortune. Yeah? Think of the cartoon. Genetically engineered super soldiers riding dinosaurs with lasers on the sides of their head. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? Better than some of the superhero rubbish we get. I reckon there's superheroes that we don't hear anything about because they've got crap superpowers. So they can't get a comic. So for example, you've got Superman. He's a sort of class A superhero. He can leap a tall building in one bound. But Captain Splat can only leap a shed with a following wind. Or, how about the Incredible Kakapo? Yeah, it doesn't mean that in English. Okay. The Incredible Kakapo, a man bitten by a radioactive New Zealand parrot that can't fly, and forgets it. Up, up, and away! Oh, hello, Captain Splat. Didn't see you there. So, yeah, of course, you don't need to have superpowers to be a superhero. Batman doesn't have any superpowers at all. He's a superhero. He's just a rich, psychotic loner. The problem is you've got to be all three. You've got to be rich, psychotic, and a loner, because if you're just rich and psychotic, then you're a Republican. Why are there no superheroes with goat powers? Because the goat's a fantastic animal. I mean, have you seen these pictures of the goats that are in the trees? There's these goats that have climbed the outside of a sheer wall of a dam. No, really, you can see this on the internet. And they can eat bear cats. So got up the terrorists who attacked a dam armed with a six-pack. This is a job for Spider Goat. Spider Goat, Spider Goat, does whatever a Spider Goat does. So, Star Trek is 50 years old next year. How many of you are big fans of the original series? With Kirk and Spock? Yeah. Still the best. But there's a lot of things wrong with it. I mean, for example, how come they never beamed down to a planet where it's raining? You know, I thought, the Enterprise, it's a spaceship that can travel faster than light at warp 9. You'd think they'd have umbrellas. Yeah, they could have an orange one for Kirk, a blue one for Spock, and a red one for Ensign Ricky. Guess which one gets hit by lightning? But then I thought about it and I thought, I know the reason why they've never been down when it's raining. Moisture retention. Because if you beam down, you're beaming down into a space which is filled with air. And in that air is moisture. And that's got to go somewhere. And that explains why Kirk gets fatter as the TV series goes on. And another thing is Dr. McCoy. Dr. McCoy is nicknamed Bones in the original series because it's an old nickname for doctors from the 18th century when they had to operate without anaesthetic. But in Germany, he's Pillar. And I used to wonder why. And then I thought this one out as well. If Kirk is having all these relationships with all the green-skinned women, somebody's got to be in charge of contraceptives and, yeah. And another thing is, it's a 5-year mission. It only lasted 3 years. Because they ran out of red shirts. Yeah, because if you watch the third season, he's getting noticeably thinner in the corridors. And if you consider, there are 12 starships. And they're all on 5-year missions. And Kirk is supposed to be one of the better captains. The casualty rate must be appalling. Can you imagine the posters? Join Starfleet. See strange new worlds, strange new civilizations, and die horrible. I reckon security is what you get if you fail at Starfleet. So you can imagine you're in the Dean's office and the Dean's Ensign Ricky, you have managed to fail the astronavigation exam 10 times, 3 times with a negative score, which isn't supposed to be possible. I'm sorry, but there's only one thing we can do. It's a field commission on the Enterprise as a security officer. Look on the bright side, son. There's a good social life. You get to go to a lot of funeral parties. Yeah, and another thing is Chekhov. Ensign Chekhov. He starts off in navigation. What happens? He's promoted to head of security. I mean, that's not exactly a promotion. You know, everybody knows head of security means oldest surviving red shirt. Resume, Pavel Chekhov. Skills. Navigation, very good. Science, like a Vulcan. Special skills. Can dock very fast on planet. Disabilities, deaf in one ear. I'm glad someone got that one. It must be pretty hard being a transporter chief as well. I am the next gen. Imagine that. Chief O'Brien, 3 to beam up. Excuse me, Captain. Don't you mean 4? No, Chief O'Brien. Well, 3.5. I was rounding down. Yeah, that takes a while as well. What do you think of Enterprise? Oh, I don't know. It's not bad. I just can't stand that song. It's a bit Bon Jovi in space, isn't it? It's been a long time getting from here to there. It's more like Deutsche Bahn than Enterprise. I learned German by watching Star Trek in German. I can't order a cup of coffee or a glass of beer, but if you've got a warp drive that's malfunctioning and the instruction book is in German, I'm your man. My ex-girlfriend, she'd never seen Star Trek in English, so she had a nasty shock when she first saw it, because she was used to Captain Kirk being witty and clever and funny, and then she watches the English version and William Shatner talks like this. And I began to think about this, and I thought, why didn't they get someone to do the synchronization who talked more like William Shatner? For example, Herbert Grönemeyer. Yeah. Scotty, finish, support, energy. And he could have sung the theme tune to Enterprise, couldn't he? Madam, fliegen im Weltraum. Madam, fliegen so weit. Madam, gib uns ein Raumschiff. Oh, wenn es kein Mann voll kann. Do you watch Boston Legal? Yeah, it's the home for all Star Trek actors. Because you've got Kirk, you've got Odo from DS9, you've even got Marty McFly from Back to the Future, and 7 of 9. turns up as well. And when Leonard Nimoy died, it really made me sad that he had never turned up in Boston Legal and said, "It's law, Jim, but not as we know it." Or DeForest Kelly, he could have come on and been a forensic pathologist. And they ask him about something in court, and he'll say, "I'm a doctor, not a lawyer." So, oh great, the clock's going off. Modern technology. So, one of the big problems I have with the modern internet is there's an awful lot of stupidity on it, pretending to be real science. And I actually came across an article the other day, and it was written by some lunatic who said, "Quantum mechanics is gibberish, science is made up, and that E equals mc squared has never conclusively been proven." Which I think the mayor of Hiroshima might have something to say about. But the big thing is this guy had written all this stuff saying that quantum mechanics is rubbish, written on his iPhone, on the internet. Presumably he thinks it runs on magic smoke. Well, you know what I think about these people? What I think is we should take them all to the head of a volcano, chuck them in, and drop an atomic bomb in there just for good measure. No, hang on, wait a minute. No, we can't do that. That's what the Scientologists believe. Yeah, bad idea. Wait a minute. Anakin Skywalker is a member of an obscure cult, and he gets thrown into a volcano. No, let's not go there. No. Otherwise, what's his name? I forgot his name. I ruined that joke now. Anyway, I'm not saying that we should kill stupid people. I'm just saying we should remove the warning signs and let the problem sort itself out. And of course, the other thing is, people going on about the Mayan calendar. The world was supposed to end on December the 21st, 2 years ago, which it evidently didn't. Because the Mayans said, this is a race which didn't work out the wheel and supported human sacrifice. And there are people who seriously believe that they know more than a society that has gone to the moon and back and has put a portable computer in every single person's pocket that they can talk to each other via a World Wide Web and have arguments with people they don't know anything about. The latest thing is, there's a bunch of people who say that there is a giant planet, Planet X, or Nibiru, as they call it, is hurtling through the solar system. And it's going to pass by the Earth, and it's going to cause tornadoes, and giant waves, and your iPhones to warranty to be invalidated, and basically, we're all dead. Now, we have astronomers who can work out that there are planets orbiting stars that we can't even see. But apparently they've missed this giant Jupiter-sized planet which is hurtling through our own backyard because it's sneaking up on us from the South Pole. The cunning little fucker. And the woman who's in charge of this cult says she knows all this because she has been told by aliens. This is the bit for the Actor X fans. Who have implanted a transmitter in her brain. If they're that intelligent, couldn't they just phone her? Send an email, you know, SMS. No great problem. No! They have to come 50,000 light years. Find someone all alone who nobody's ever going to believe. Drug them. Perform surgery on a totally alien biological system. Stuff electronics in their skull for which you can't find the batteries. And then, just so it's not a total loss of a journey, find a couple of rednecks and anally probe them. Now, I have to be careful when I do this routine, because one of the first times I did it, I didn't say rednecks, I said redheads. And that's when I met my last girlfriend. It got weird pretty quick. She was very, very demanding in bed. She used to wake me up in the middle of the night and demand that I stop snoring. Now, that was a bit of a cheat, because she snored like a little pig. Well, actually, she snored like a big pig. A big pig with a megaphone. Now, I am allowed to say this because I was up all night, recording it. And it sort of went in a 10-minute cycle, you know. First of all, we'd start off with the Darth Vader impersonation. Then the back of the throat comes into play. Then we get the first real snore. Then a little break for a snack. And finally we get the big end blockage. Now that was dangerous because her head could have imploded. It didn't, though, even though I kept my fingers crossed. Yeah, we're not together now, as you might imagine. You know, the signs were there. Her name for me was the China Dummy Bitch. My nickname for her was Bitch Grin from Hell. So yeah, that didn't last long. So, but these aliens doing the alien probing, I reckon they film it and they show it to their friends at their dinner parties. That is me. That is my brood companion, Zygote 38X, and the naked bottoms are Jim Bob and Cletus. You can imagine, can't you, the flying saucer landing in front of these two little scared rednecks. And the door opens, and out comes the alien. Humans, we have travelled 10,000 of your light years to give you this message. Bend over. Golly gee, Cletus, I don't think he wants us to phone home. Yeah, so as I said, I reckon they film it. And I reckon there's a TV programme they send them all into. The best one wins a prize. And I bet it's on RTL's Eye. But I think there's a reason they do this. And the reason is the first cultural document they have witnessed from our society is the YouTube film of the chimpanzee who sticks his finger up his backside, sniffs it and falls over. They thought we were sending them a greeting. And I think Star Trek is responsible for this in some way, because for the last 50 years we have been beaming Star Trek out into the universe. So now, every single civilization within a 50 light year radius has got the message. Come to Earth, we will shag anything. No, really, green skin, 3 breasts, the more tentacles, the better. We are not proud. What's that you say? You're a cold-blooded reptilian? Oh, hell, come on down, son. We've got loads of those already. We call them Republicans. So it's hardly surprising if they turn up and they accidentally get the wrong hole. So, with that thought, I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave you because I've run out of jokes. But I will leave you with this thought. We are all of us in the gutter, but some of us are looking up at the stars. Because when we drained the bottle, we fell backwards. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Steve Dix. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a very patient audience, and good night.
Thank you very much, Steve Dix, for his Han Solo comedy show.